A lot of people do not realize how well ADA has in fact been performing as of late. They don't even realize some of these major changes that have happened for ADA that has brought us to where we're at now. People tend to look at things through a very narrow lens. They're not paying attention to the market as a whole or what's going on currently. And because of that, I think this is where a lot of people are missing out on the real potential for ADA in this market cycle. There's a comment that I do want to discuss and kind of give you guys this breakdown about, but what I need to remind people as well is we're not even in the fun part of the market yet. That is still coming. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So right now, again, like we talked about, ADA's within formation. It's doing well. It's a green day so far. Hopefully this is something that continues as the day goes on. We're definitely chopping up and down, that's for sure. But this is the comment that kind of inspired this video. What it said was, would it not be possible to give a more pragmatic analysis of the short to medium term potential for ADA based on its inherent characteristics, functionality, market sentiment, and other useful information relative to the other big cryptocurrencies, like some inherent reasons for what it is holding ADA back while other big name cryptos are pumping? I feel that trying to make future predictions based on technical analysis alone is too much of pseudoscience. And you know what? That's fair. My judgments of ADA, my price projections for ADA, they don't just come from technical analysis. Some of it comes from that, yes. But ADA has some very interesting fundamentals that you don't see around most of the crypto space. First of all, what people need to realize is that ADA, not a good early market performer. Never has been. It's never done well in the early part of market cycles. All right. And when we look at what ADA's done in the early part of this market cycle, it didn't really perform that well. All right. And I'm not saying it was bad. It did fine, right? From down here to up here, it ran almost a 4x. From down here to up here, it ran about a 4x. So there was opportunities for significant gains in terms of price. In fact, on portions of these runs, it was one of the best performing assets in crypto, specifically last fall. Last fall, you had your big dogs in the space. You had XRP, HBAR, Algo, XLM, and ADA that just were absolutely tearing it up, and they were in fact some of the best performers. Very, very exciting sign. And the problem is now, as we've gone on this retracement in the crypto market, people keep looking at ADA, and they're saying, oh, it's performing bad. It's not doing well. Guys, when we look across the space, what is the best performer of those assets I just listed between XLM, XRP, HBAR, Algo? Well, it's ADA. There's ADA. If we keep scrolling down, you guys can see, where is it? XRP, you can see HBAR right there. You can see XLM, and then Algo's all the way down here. So ADA has actually been doing a very good job of staying resilient. A lot of people forget all the crap that we've been dealing with these last several months. Black swan events, tariff news, right? Yet ADA has continued to kind of buck the trend per se. In fact, it's one of the only assets, one of the only ones that didn't set a new low in April, didn't set a new lower low. That is a great, great sign and a real testament to the conviction of ADA holders. But I think it's also very important to note that a lot of things that we've been dealing with as of late have changed from last summer, right? Embrace of US-based crypto, very, very good for ADA. Obviously, we've gone to a fully decentralized nature. That's very good if you're looking at, if you're a crypto purist, right? If you're really focused on decentralization. Cardano is one of the few ecosystems that has a significant roadmap this year. We still have Midnight coming. We have Ouroboros Laos. We have Bitcoin OS coming this month, the unveiling of that, right? Major stable coins. There are a lot of things that are taking place right now that are helping build this narrative surrounding Cardano that are not technical analysis related or are related. Now, if we do look at TA, there are a lot of things that have been working in our favor. First of all, we're doing exactly what we did last market cycle in terms of dominance. But on a fundamental level, there's actually more interest in ADA than there has been in the past, right? We're at a higher point of relevance from people inside the crypto space, because the big thing that has not happened yet in this market cycle is major adoption, right? I feel like we've been stuck in this 5 to 6% of the world in crypto since all the way back in 2022. That hasn't really changed. We've had little bursts of excitement. We've had little bursts of adoption, which has caused some of ADA's runs here, right? Boom, a little bit right there, a little bit here at the end of February. We had some in November, but it's not the rate at which we have seen in the past. Usually, the year following the halving is a major year in terms of adoption, and that's when ADA tends to perform its best. For whatever reason, retail just tends to love ADA. If you guys remember last market cycle, when did ADA make up some of those really significant gains? It was the year following the halving. In fact, ADA vastly outperformed the year prior in the year following the halving. And that's despite having an early top because of the launch of smart contracts. And that's a different conversation for a different day. But what we're seeing right now is because of a lot of the different things that are going on for the Cardano ecosystem, because of the interest surrounding US-based crypto, because of this embrace, ADA is actually becoming one of the better performers in the crypto market. And we haven't even gotten to a big adoption time yet. One thing I want to point to here as well is ADA is very different from other assets on a fundamental level. Very few have this type of conviction when it comes to ADA. And this hasn't made a huge impact in price yet, but it will. And what I'm talking about is actually this just hoarding of supply. Guys, this week alone, even still, despite the ups and downs, we have actually seen $34 million in ADA outflows from exchanges this week. And I know I've talked about this before, and why this is in fact so important, guys, is, a lot of people like to dog on the Cardano ecosystem and say that, oh, it doesn't have much volume. There isn't a whole lot going on. Well, guess what's happening for ADA, right? If that is the case, what this is showing us is that people are removing ADA from exchanges and they're hoarding it. They're not unloading it. That's a great sign. It means people are planning for the long term, right? And it's to the tune of almost $30 to $40 million worth of ADA a week. It adds up over time. We're talking about billions and billions and billions of dollars in ADA just from the top of last cycle to now alone. All right. So we've seen huge fundamental steps forward. We've seen huge developmental steps forward. We've seen huge optics forward, right? These are all things that are putting ADA in a very good spot in this market cycle. And then you can do some TA. You can look at, how ADA BTC is done historically speaking. You can look at how ADA dominance is done historically speaking, and that can help bring you to some of those conclusions in terms of price. But the supply shock alone, the developments alone, I mean, those are things that can obviously help put us on this pretty significant run. And hopefully that answers that question well enough. This is all stuff that gets me very excited for where ADA can head. This is why when I say ADA's in the best spot it's ever been, when Cardano's in the best spot it's ever been, a lot of people, it tends to go in one ear and out the other because they don't look at things in totality. Fundamentally, ADA is strong. Cardano is growing. Development is strong, right? Partnerships increasing and improving. All right. They're kind of, I would say that right now, Cardano kind of has the market cornered per se. It's forcing a lot of other blockchains to adapt and adjust. And the problem for them is that I think that they've tried to pivot just a little bit too late. And that's where you could, in fact, see Cardano take some pretty big steps forward in terms of use. And the big thing I want to remind people too, like I have in other videos, is that adoption for DeFi specifically tends to take place later in market cycles. All right. We're not even at the point where retail has really paid attention to what's going on in this cycle yet. It's been mostly institutional money early on, which, by the way, there have been plenty of months where ADA has been one of the largest institutional ads. All right. So right now, I would say Cardano's in a great spot. ADA's in a great spot. These are big reasons why it can, in fact, take a step forward. And this building that we're doing right now, it's leading us to one of the biggest booms we've ever seen in crypto history. And what this is showing us right now is ADA, once again, has a huge opportunity to participate. I'm not saying it's going to do 150x from the bottom like it did last market cycle, but it can still do incredibly well and be one of the better blue chip performers in this space. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully that answers the question, but let me know what you guys think. Have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.